Barclay Goodrow sets up Cirelli right in front, and finally this series is over. The Tampa Bay Lightning are headed back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 2015. I'm so happy. Literally, this Tampa team has been ridiculous. They dominated this entire series, and they deserve to go on without question. Hats off to the New York Islanders. They had a very deep run, a very impressive run, and they really hung in there. But it was evident that there was a night and day difference between these two teams when it came to their offenses, and Tampa was just relentless, especially over these past two games. What a series this was, truly. Hats off to the Islanders. This is no ill will against them, but I'm unbelievably happy for this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Seriously, Cirelli, the same guy who of course got hurt earlier in this game, just oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for the Tampa Bay Lightning. As you can see, there it is. My camera's mirrored. I apologize, but Tampa Bay Lightning 2004. They're very reminiscent of 2004 this year when it comes to their overall team, and this is just such a chip off their shoulder, of course, being swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the playoffs in the first round last year, nonetheless, of course, really having the best season in regular season history in the NHL, of course, and having such high expectations and not living up to them by any means, having a chip on their shoulder this year, making some big deadline moves, of course, from their GM, gaining the likes of Barclay Goodrow and, of course, Blake Coleman, giving up multiple first-round picks, but in the end, it is paying in dividends, especially with Goodrow hitting up Cirelli in front for that game-winning goal. What a series this was. But if you are new to the channel, my name's Tyler and I just do consistent content on all things related hockey and the NHL overall, and I'm so happy. Tampa Bay Lightning fans, how hyped are you? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. But we're going to be doing a summary of this series, my thoughts on this summary on this series and this game in particular, and what is next for these two teams going forward in the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders. But starting off, the Tampa Bay Lightning, as I mentioned, were just so dominant in this series. I never saw a team throughout this entire playoffs, to be perfectly honest, that dominated a series the way that this Tampa Bay Lightning team did. Their back checking and their forechecking was just absolutely phenomenal, especially last game, and this game too was evident. They were just dominant on every single side of the puck. It looked like the Islanders had no chance offensively. They were just really hanging on to get some type of good bounce, and that was evident, of course, in the last game where Shattenkirk whiffed the puck and then that 2-on-1, and then Eberle gets the game winner. You know, Islanders did everything they possibly could to stay in this series. The fact that they got it to 6 was very impressive, especially in the way that they did. Really held Tampa these past couple games and not score as much, obviously, but this Tampa Bay Lightning team still prevailed. They are the deepest team in the NHL. They have spent a lot on these players, and who knows what their roster is going to look like after this playoffs, but they're in a win now stage. I'm so happy for them. They deserve it. I hope for Cooper's sake that he's really happy and he possibly wins the Stanley Cup, but I'm not going to pick who I think should win because I'm going to be happy either way between them and Dallas. That's going to be such a fun series. But regardless, this series, of course, Tampa Bay outscored the Islanders by double. Same thing with their shot production, especially over the past two games. Had 20 goals in the series to the Islanders 11. And when it comes to the point leaders, of course, Brayden Point, who was out last game, of course, and has been dealing with injuries. We all know that. He had 25 points in this year's playoffs thus far and had 7 points in this Islanders series, even while being injured plenty of the times. Nikita Kucherov, amazing series for him, really using the body as well, and I understand there's controversy behind him being dirty at times. I understand that, but regardless, Kucherov was phenomenal, has 26 points in this year's playoffs. He's proving just how amazing he is, why he is still one of, if not the best player in the NHL. You know, he just had 120 points a year ago. Seems like people tend to forget about that, which is insane, but regardless, he had 10 points in this series, in this 6-game series against the Islanders, and of course, Victor Hedman, the beast, in my opinion, is really the unsung captain for this Tampa Bay Lightning team. If you look at Stamkos, I know Tampa Bay loves him, and for good reason, but Hedman has always been, in my mind, the perfect leader for this Tampa Bay Lightning team, has stepped up big when needed, and regardless of his injuries, for the most part, has been there for them, and I think that really separates him from Stamkos in that aspect. You know, Stammer's only been hurt, especially over these past couple years, but regardless, Hedman has played hurt plenty, and he's just a warrior. He goes in and night out, will give you as much minutes as possible. Regardless, he's 6'6", whatever pound, and he he's just flying up and down the ice constantly. He is amazing. Easily, in my opinion, the best defenseman in the NHL as an overall D-man. But he had 15 points in this year's playoffs thus far and 6 points in this series against the Islanders, including, yes, the first goal for Tampa in this game, of course, just tie the game up shortly after the Islanders scored with Devon Taves scoring that wraparound goal shortly into the first period. But what a series this was. And then getting on to the New York Islanders, of course, Josh Bailey had 20 points in this 2020 playoffs, including only 3 points against Tampa. So really not able to get much offensive production, but that was evident throughout the entire Islanders lineup. Brock Nelson had 18 points in this year's playoffs, of course, had 3 points against Tampa. And Matty Barzal, who I'm a big fan of, regardless of the fact that I'm a Rangers fan. I appreciate a lot of the players on each and every team, and Barzal, how do you not love the guy? He is just amazing. 17 points, including 4 points in the series. And Barzal is going to have a very promising future, I assure you, Islanders fans. So don't worry about that. But like I said, this is the first time since 2015 that the Tampa Bay Lightning are going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. The last time they did that, too, I believe, is when they beat my New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. But regardless, Tampa Bay, I've always been a fan of them. I love the fact of Mac Truck, of course, the former New York Rangers captain, going to the Stanley Cup Finals again. I really hope for his sake that they come out faring well, but at the same time, I am looking forward to seeing how Dallas does. I'm really excited for this series. It's awesome. We've never seen a Stanley Cup like this before, and I think it is really going to bode well in the end for the NHL, their marketing, and just seeing these newer teams back in the Cup. You know, I know that Tampa has been there recently, but regardless, seeing them go up against a team like Dallas is going to be very interesting because Dallas has been playing such a hard-nosed game, a great defensive game, similar to the Islanders in that aspect, but more bigger-bodied, you know, aggressive as well. So I think they're going to match up very well with Tampa here, and while Tampa does have the goal scoring, without question, there is no doubting the fact that, of course, anything can happen. You know, that was evident in this year's playoffs, especially with the bubble and the change in format. So I cannot wait for this series. Antoine Godobin against Vasilevsky in net. That's going to be insane. I'm so ecstatic. I really am. Tampa Bay Lightning fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Islanders fans, I know you're upset for any that see this, but just I assure you, hats off to you. Barry Trotz is an amazing coach. It has been evident every single season, it seems like, over these past 5 years, especially. And as long as you have him behind the bench, good things are going to happen. If the Islanders can make some moves this offseason, possibly to address some more offensive things if they can, I think that'd be great, as that really seems like their biggest issue. Varlamov played amazing, really on top of his head when they need him to, and Grace has been solid at times in this year's playoffs as well. So regardless, Islanders fans, I understand, I know you're upset, and for good reason, but surely I do not think this is the end of more deep playoff runs to come by any means. So hats off to you guys. But Tampa Bay Lightning fans, oh, this was insane. I'm so happy to see them in this year's Stanley Cup Finals. I'm ecstatic. I don't know what else to say. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I would love to hear it. And yeah, I'll be back very, very soon with plenty of videos, and I'm not sure how I'm going to approach the Stanley Cup Final yet, so stay tuned for that. But thank you all so much, guys. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of hockey content. Help us get to 1K. We're so close to there, and I can't thank you all enough for helping us reach this ultimate goal. Trust me, this is only the beginning on this channel. Check out my previous videos down below, and I'll be back very, very soon.